Green Arrow, number 25, Benjamin Percy writing, Otto Schmidt's back on art, which is fine, because we're swapping between Jean Ferrier and Otto Schmidt. It's actually quite a good little mix to be swapping around.
It is, and I think we've got Byrne coming up next, so still solid.
But this is the start of, I think the title of the arc is, oh no, Broken Arrows at the start.
It is, I was just about to say it, but...
I was going to say, it's probably at the end, because it kind of sets up what he's doing at the end of it, but yeah, that's fair. Unless this is just technically a one-shot, and then the arc starts.
I think it might be a one-shot, because, like I think I said it last week, or maybe with the last issue of Green Arrow, that I know Byrne is doing something with the Flash there. So I think...
I feel like this is really the first part of it, though, because it sets it all up. But yeah, they're just framing it as this is a prelude, and then...
Yeah, it does say at the end, next, Hard Traveling Hero. So I think that might be the name of the arc, and this is just a one-shot, technically.
Technically, yeah. But it'll be in that trade, because obviously.
Yeah. This definitely feels like the bridging issue between year 1 and year 2, though.
Oh, yeah, that's a fair point. So, what was this about? This is a harder one to remember without looking at it, because it's a lot of small scenes. Like, it kind of...
It is, yeah.
Yeah, because we have all these in prison, he's being questioned by detectives, and they're being kind of mean to him. The mayor's going on about it, it's now Star City, which seems to be official. Everyone seems to be calling it that. So
yeah, I'm not sure I'm a fan of how quickly this seems to happen, and how quickly everyone's just saying it. Like, he's the only one still saying Seattle, and then people are correcting him, going, it's Star City now.
You know, I completely agree it's far too quick, but because I want it to be called Star City, I'm actually kind of not going to complain about it.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but it annoys me. It's like, if something changed its name, there's a period where people, some people will just naturally, out of habit, still call it what it was.
I do think, though, there'll be a nice moment when Oliver kind of accepts that it's Star City, but he'll sort of accept it as Star City on his terms, where he's like, okay, I'm going to make Star City be... I was going to say great, and then I heard great again in my head, and I thought, no, I can't go down that path. That's not what I meant to say. But you know what I mean? Like, he'll... because right now it's the villains that want it to be called that, and I feel like there'll be a moment where he says, no, okay, it's Star City, but I am going to make Star City the city of Green Arrow, and it's going to be safe, and it's going to be, crime's going to be gone, and all the rest of it.
Yeah, he'll probably do. So if I have to think of it as... Because Benjamin Percy tends to write a lot on the nose with these sorts of things anyway. I imagine he'll be like, well, stars shine bright, so this city's going to shine bright with heroes at the forefront.
So the main gist of this is that the underground men are back, Black Canary's investigating that, and she finds out about them. Meanwhile, Oliver does get out of jail. Emmy tries to break him out, and then he's like, no, I'm doing this officially, I'm doing this legally, by the book. And then a lawyer shows up with his bail money, says it's from an old friend, which we assume Diggle, because it then cuts to Diggle's page.
Yeah, that was the assumption, but there was nothing in that made it sound like it was him. Like, it didn't even sound like he knew what was going on. He's out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, they could just be using that as a tie, like, oh, it's an old friend, and then he's an old friend, but it's not the actual old friend in question who bailed him out.
Which would be a really clunky segue, though, if that is the case.
It is, yeah. The segue kind of implied it, but hey-ho. So basically, he gets a court hearing and stuff, like, she's setting it all up and all the rest of it. We see Diggle's got Merlin, and Merlin's kind of like his prisoner for the time being, and he's, like, bringing him food and stuff. It's all very, very odd, but... Merlin basically says, yeah, eventually you can't stop us from killing one another. Like, one of us is going to have to win, and you're going to have to kind of pick when you don't intervene, kind of idea. But yeah, so Five still working at Queen Industries. But Oliver meets him, and he's like, yeah, I can be your man inside. I can know about all this stuff. And it sounds like, because he listens in the conversation between Broderick and the mayor, and they're talking about how Star City is just one of the stars. They're going to have a constellation across the country.
Again, I love it, but he's so on the nose. It's like, I kind of really appreciate
I like this. I like the fact that they want to have several cities under control and have it be a constellation. I think that's perfect.
It is. It's fantastic.
Perfect punning, since they're calling it still Star City. Perfect. So that sets the whole thing up. It is basically a giant setup issue. Like, it sets up all these different things. What I did think was weird, though, is that when Oliver finds out about Dinah and he's going to go help her, Fife says, oh, you shouldn't throw the hood and the bow in the trash just yet. Green Arrow can still do some good. We then cut to him showing up to help Dinah, and she's like running through the tunnels from the all the monsters and stuff, and he's in costume with the bow and arrow, and I'm like, huh. But he did that whole thing where he threw it out in the last issue. If it was just going to be a thing where he was taking it off to go and be Oliver Queen, then just have him take it off.
Yeah, I mean, I assume Fife just had a backup, like just stashed away up the stairs.
It feels weird to have that moment where he puts it in the trash, literally, and then not to have a moment where he makes the choice to put it back on.
It does. It undermines it a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's not to say that I disliked the issue. I actually liked it a lot, but it just
I did too.
That was one thing that just stuck out to me.
I just want to point out one of the great layout bits. It's during that sequence where he goes and saves her.
Mm-hmm.
One of the lines separating the panels is actually the arrow, and it's fantastic. It's on the second page of it.
Yeah, I see it. That's good. That's good stuff. I like them bickering, and which has always been good. But Dana giving him shit and all the rest of it is good fun. And they eventually get out and they kind of win. And basically he comes to the realization, this is kind of what all the setup's been building to at the end. He's with Emmy and Fife and he's like, right, Black Canary's in charge while I'm gone. And actually, see when this page started, I was actually thinking, wait a minute, you've got like court dates and shit. You're just like, you're on bail. You can't just leave. But he does bring it up. But at the end of the page he brought it up, which I was glad because I was really getting ready to nitpick it if he didn't.
Yeah.
But he's like, yeah, Black Canary's in charge. Emmy, Red Arrow, whatever you're calling yourself, follow orders. Fife, you're the inside man. And Fife's rich because he's given him a sports car and he's got shades on. It seems like he's now loaded because of his new job.
Well, I don't think he's giving him the sports car. That's his sports car because Ollie goes off on the bike.
Oh, sorry, he gives him money then. Sorry, he
definitely gives him money.
There's talk of the loan, but yeah, my point though is look at him. He's loaded now.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny.
I love how he's proper suave in in the sunglasses.
He is actually, yeah. Diana doesn't go down to meet them though. She watches from a distance with tears in her eyes, which is kind of sad because they're in a sort of broken place. So basically what we're getting with the next arc is we're getting Ollie going around the country looking into where else the Ninth Circle have got their grips into, which is probably why he ends up meeting Flash. He probably goes to Central City, then he'll go to somewhere else, and which probably means we're going to get a lot of interesting guest stars as he goes around all the different cities.
I love that he calls this a quest, and it kind of does feel like that. He's setting off on a quest.
Yeah, like an RPG.
And like you say, this will be the guest. I imagine Flash is the next one.
I do hope as this is all going on that we still get like a subplot in the book with Dinah and the rest of the team in Star City.
Given the tease page, that has all the things.
Yeah.
Of one of them is Emmy and Canary, so I assume that means that we'll at least check in with them for an issue at some point, if not a running subplot.
Which, Joe, what's amazing about this is one of the pages, one of the panels in that tease page, as we're getting teased for the last page. We'll talk about the reveal at the end in a second, but is him standing with Nightwing, Batgirl, Damian, and Harley Quinn, and it's just like sort of dawned on me. Oh, that neatly ties into the whole Gotham Resistance thing. That's why he's there.
And it's like that's why he's there. Yeah,
because he's on his quest. It's actually.
I think we did speculate that when we mentioned it last week or the week before.
It's just nice that it's neatly lining up like that. Like that's why he's there, because it's almost like that we're going to do that crossover regardless, and then
it was like, hey, let's just make this another stop on his journey.
Yeah, it's like, then they noticed, we're doing a travelling thing with Green Arrow. Oh yeah, that's half him being Gotham at that time. That's pretty cool. It works. Also, it seems like we're going to get an issue with him and Hal, which is pretty cool. The Green and the Green teaming up once again, plus various others. So that's pretty cool. And then the last page, of course, the big twist is that in the Ninth Circle, not dead, Moira Queen is alive and she's evil. Presumably.
I love this.
Presumably.
Yeah, one assumes so.
They could swerve us, but at least right now it seems like she's evil.
Yeah, he's talking about how... Interestingly, he says that Ollie's father refused the call. So Ollie thinks, his dad was an evil guy and, he was part of this, but he wasn't. He actually was like, he said no, which is what we learn here. Which
will be a nice moment for him when he realises that his entire bloodline isn't completely screwed.
I mean, it's going to be really interesting because he'll be like, oh, Dad wasn't an evil prick. That's fantastic. And it's like, wait a second, Mom.